So tired.
Okay.
Yeah, super hard for them.
I think the reason why, for me, when I was a kid, right, when I was watching television and stuff like that, my parents knew what I was watching. You know, they could keep track. They could say, okay, you got an hour every afternoon. Hope get your mind out of the gutter, man.
No, because I remember when I was a kid and I had like this little TV in my room, this black and white TV that I turned on.
In your room?
No, it was like this little one that my grandma. No, I stole it out of the garage and I hid it from my parents. And I hid it from my parents because my parents would do the same thing, like an hour of TV every day. And I'd like sit and watch all the bad shows.
See, but that's the thing, right? Now, okay, no, that's cool, right? I think, so do you think that do you honestly believe that our parents, or the parents of the young people today, really know what they're doing on their electronic devices?
No.
Do they actually, how many do you reckon actually know what Snapchat is?
You can know what they're doing, because there's different things.
But we're so busy. Parents these days are so busy. We don't have time. I see mothers with
Now you're a parent.
Where's your daughter now? She's like on the computer.
You know what I mean? Like you see DVD players in the car because parents can't be bothered to talk to their kids, or like let their kids look around in the car. Or you see DVD players attached to prams. You know what I mean? Like
what the heck?
Yes,
Are you serious?
I've seen little screens attached to
No
prams.
way. No! They don't just stroll around.
Exactly, because it's taking place of parents actually having time to like talk to their kids, and even like sitting down to having meals together as a family. That doesn't happen anymore. You go and watch the TV, and it shows that there are actual real problems that come from that, like speech and like emotional development and stuff like that.
True, you know Teletubbies? Teletubbies. I don't know if that's still even part of TV today.
They're so
but back in the day, Teletubbies got axed from the air because you know how they're going putty 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 putty, and they're all making that thing. Kids were growing up with speech defects. That's insane. Like if you're watching that every day, you're eventually going to develop those kind of things, you know? And that's why it got set up there.
You know Joe Frost, the nanny or whatever.
Super Nanny.
Super Nanny.
Yeah.
She had a statistic that parents spend 40.7 minutes with their kids a week. Like one-on-one with their kids today, and children spend about 4 days in a month on the computer. So
4 days in a month.
4 days in a month on the computer compared to their spending time with their parents.
Definitely.
So 4 days.
Yeah, I heard a statistic, someone was saying once that like in a week, the average teenager and parent will only talk for 10 minutes. And then that's what's sad is like, is it really, like we're saying, oh, they've got it so hard. I'm like, yes, they do. But like, we're sitting here and it's not their fault. It's like, we should be doing something about it. Like, why are we just like, oh, well, our busy lives, we'll just put them aside. Like, no wonder they're struggling. Like, it's us.
Yeah.
So turn this off. Turn this off.
I don't know. Get your parents to be watching this. Wait, let's not bring the whole parents down, because think about all the stuff that they have to do with.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to work longer hours. Sport.
It's society.
But let me ask you something, right? Would kids spend that much time on the computer? You said 4 days out of the month. Would they spend that much time on the computer if their parents knew exactly what they were doing
You
online?
should not be eating while you talk. You have a list.
He's still eating now.
Wait, they send me MBs?
Like, just say for example, you know, gaming and like, you know, Facebook and all of that. If my parents knew how much time I spent watching cartoons on TV, like if it was 4 days out of the month, my dad would lose his mind.
Yeah.
So to think, if parents actually knew how much time and what exactly they were doing online, do you think it'd still be that kind of high statistic?
No. I think if parents really did have a clue, I think there would be, I guess, maybe restrict like kids using this like that. But these days, like kids are so, from a young age, like from grade 3, they need a USB at school now as part of their stationery. Like what grade 3 curriculum is teaching them to be computer literate so they can get a job later, but they're surpassing even their parents. So you'll see, oh, what about this? There's like, I think it's like 7% of online shopping is by 5-year-olds.
What?
Yeah.
Far out, man.
Seriously, and their parents
don't have credit cards though.
Their parents give them their credit cards.
Wow.
7% of the online market is 5 years old. I'm not kidding. How bad is that?
I've missed out on a childhood, man. That's like you can buy whatever your parents decide.
But
all the toys in the world. Yeah.
I really think that, I think this is what I believe can help kids these days. This is like, in my mind, what would be a good solution. would be to, like how we had it back in the day, to just have some structure. Kids don't have structure these days. You know, it's kind of just like, oh, whatever, you get home, you eat by yourself, you put yourself to bed, you do all this stuff. And it's cool to have kids that are independent, not cotton wool them. But then on the flip side of that, when you go to school, there's so many little restrictions. Oh, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. So it's like you're sending them mixed messages.
You know what I'd probably
Like-
say? Like I'd probably say, okay, kids, I think it's time. If you've been given the privilege of having so much maturity to think for yourself, to go online for yourself and choose all these things, I think it should also be the time that you can step up to that level of maturity and go to your parents and say, look, there's statistics saying that I'm spending 4 hours, like 4 days, of the whole month online, and I think we need to sort something out. I think it's time for them to kind of take that initiative, because parents are busy and it's not their fault too, because things are expensive, they gotta make money and stuff. So I think there has to be some sort of compromise, because a lot of the time what I found is like as soon as it's an issue related to children and youth, they take the defensive and they say, oh well, it's not our fault and we're not gonna do anything about it, and it's like, but yeah, it's not their fault. But still, they can still take the first step into reconciling that issue. You know, they can say, okay, there is an issue, let's try and address that. Let's talk to our parents.
But as a
The
kid,
kids want to.
we didn't do that.
Well,
Kids will never
they love
do
it.
that.
They're like, oh, give me more time on the computer. I'm like, you only realize it when you're older. I think that's what it is. It's like now as I'm older, I realize like I should have spent more time with my parents. I should have done that. During that time, you're like, hell yeah, freedom.
You had strict parents, right?
I had strict, yeah, they were strict.
Yeah, strict parents, right?
Hope was a middle child though.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
that's-
you were bright.
that's-
You did not
My
have strict
parents
parents. If you're a
was
middle child, you had no strict parents.
Simon is the brat.
Simon is the brat, he's the youngest. My parents were strict, but I didn't feel it because unfortunately, I'm the stereotypical middle child where you kind of like, you're in your own.
But you were responsible though, that's the thing. It's different. What do you guys see as being maybe like a solution or something that we can do, I guess, as young people, not necessarily as parents, but as like older young people to help kids through this time? I think we can do.
Me personally, I think I should be the conduit or the connecting between the parents and the kids, and just to bring them into a room and say, you know what, this is what's happening, and just educate or give them the sense of acknowledgement to say, oh, okay, there is an issue here. You know, because some parents are either turning a blind eye or they're just ignorant of the fact of what's going on. Yeah. And some kids are knowing what's going on, taking full advantage of that. Or they're saying, well, I love life, let's keep on doing it, not knowing that they're having repercussions for the rest of,
Later.
you know. Leave a message, leave a comment, and we'll talk about it on Super Friday.